What's up YouTube, it's your boy 19F. Welcome back to another video. So we have K9 Cyber Dragons going up against Yummy. So let's just hop right into the replay. So we lost the rock, paper, scissors, and our opponent decided to go first. In our opening hand, we have Cyberdark Realm, Cyber Dragon Core, Cyber Dragon Hertz, Molchami for Wallace, Cyberdark Chimera. Opponent has Ash Blossom, Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage, Lollipop, Yummy Surprise, and Obedience Schooled. So opponent's going to go first. They're going to enter the main phase, activate Obedience Schooled. We're going to chain 4 Hollows, and our opponent will negate it with the Ash Blossom. And so our opponent is now just going full combo. I'm not going to waste any time. We're just going to let this go through. So they'll link summon the Yummy. Snatchy. Snatchy effect will set the field spell, the Minion field spell, if I pronounced that correctly, I believe. Minion will just reborn the Cupsy from the grave, get another Yummy Surprise to the hand. Then they'll synchro summon into Lollipop effect. They can add a special summon 2 Yummy monsters from the graveyard, but negate their effects. Then our opponent will synchro summon into the Star Ham. They'll use its effect to discard 1 card and special summon 1 monster from the graveyard that was used as the synchro material. Now here my opponent did make a mistake. They are locked under Obedience Schooled. They cannot summon monsters except beast monsters. I do let my opponent know about that just before I start my turn. So technically can't go into Herald yet, but they can go into it during our turn. So we did draw into Cyber Emergency for turn. We enter the main phase, activate Emergency, then our opponent will chain Snatchy to synchro summon, and this time they bring out the Herald. So I add Cyber Dragon to my hand, special summon the Cyber Dragon, and then my opponent had no response, so we're just going to contact Fuse the 1 Snatchy, normal summon core effect. Opponent lets it go through. Since we already had Cyberdark Realm in our hand, I decide to add Cyberload Fusion. Now here, I had to make the decision. Either we OTK our opponent, or we try break our opponent's board and we set up ours. I took the decision to try and break our opponent's board. I link summon into SP, target a Herald to banish. Opponent will chain Herald to negate and destroy SP. I activate SP targeting herself and the Cupsy to banish. Opponent lets it go through. Then we activate Cyberdark Realm to search for Cyberdark Worm. Use Realm effect to normal summon. Opponent lets it go through. Opponent then activates Yummy Surprise to special summon Lollipop from grave. Then we activate Cyberdark Chimera's effect, discard Cyberload Fusion to search. Opponent will chain Lollipop to reborn the Snatchy as well as Cookie from grave. We get Power Bond to our hand. Then opponent will activate Cookie to technically destroy our Chimera since it was reborn by a synchro monster. Then Snatchy will set up the other field spell, Yummy Amusement, this field spell. I'm not sure how you say that name. Chimera's effect will trigger. I wanted to see if my opponent would hash it or we can try bait out anything, but opponent lets it go through, so we're just going to send Cyberdark Claw to graveyard. Then we activate Power Bond. We're going to fusion summon into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. The reason why we do this is we are saving the Cyberdark Worm play because we still have Cyberload Fusion in our grave. So rather, we bring out Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon to try to destroy the spells and traps that our opponent controls. Opponent will chain Snatchy to synchro summon. And then they'll chain link 3, Yummy Surprise. Yummy Surprise just to add back Minion field spell to their hand. So the card they're going to synchro summon is Cookie Yummy Way. On a new chain, Yummy Way effect to flip Rampage Dragon to defense. And now here we activate Cyberdark Worm's effect. We did have a Cyber name in grave, so it's perfectly legal to activate. We'll send Nashter to grave as cost because Hertz is in our hand. I guess, yeah, there was no other Cyber Dragon name in our graveyard for us to send Hertz because Cyber Dragon is banished and Core is also banished. So I just send Nashter to grave. Opponent will chain Cookie Yummy Way to reborn a Snatchy as well as Lollipop. So we add Cyberload Fusion back to our hand. Then on a new chain, Lollipop effect to banish Nashter, which, my opponent didn't know, but it didn't matter for us because we did have Cyberload Fusion. Now here I link summon into Clockwork Knight effect. we search for the continuous spell Clockwork Knight, really good against Yummy. Clockwork Knight effect, reborn the worm and retribute the Chimera Rampage Dragon. You can tribute a face down machine monster. Activate Cyberload Fusion. My opponent was saying that you can't tribute a face down because of whatever. You can read the comments, but I was just letting him know that you can. Cyberload Fusion effect will resolve. We're just shuffling back all three materials, going to our second Chimera Rampage Dragon effect. Then we use its effect to send 2 Light Machine monsters to the grave. And then we enter the battle phase just to try clear our opponent's board. We cannot attack directly because we did use SP effect. Then we enter main phase 2. XC summon into Nova effect. Reborn Cyber Dragon, and then we go into Infinity. Now, people may be thinking I could have went into K9 Ripper. No, because the K9 cards, as you guys should know by now, they trigger when your opponent activates a monster effect in hand or grave. Yummy does not do that. K9 cards are not good against Yummy, so instead I just went into Nova. We activate Clockwork Knight, and we proceed to the end phase, bring back the SP, and bring back our opponent's Cupsy, and we pass for turn. Opponent draws 4 Wallows for turn, and they scoop. I believe it's because of Clockwork Knight. Floodgate, all monsters on the field become machine. If they had another Snatchy, they can't even link summon into it. So we go into game number 2. Opponent is going first again. So we open Cyber Claw, Cyber Realm, 4 Wallows, Cyber Claw, and Cyber Emergency. Opponent has Cookie, Lollipop, Cupsy, Sky Striker, Mecha Hornet Drones, and Infinite Impermanence. So opponent will activate Hornet Drone, special summon a token. On resolution, activate 4 Wallows. Opponent lets it go through. Link summon into Kagari. Kagari effect will add Hornet Drones back to the hand. We get to draw a card, draw into Cyber Dragon Core. Activate Hornet Drones again. Summon another token. And then they'll special summon the Yummy from hand. Yummy Cupsy, effect will get Yummy Surprise. And then they'll use those two to synchro summon into Lollipop Yummy Way. They get to special summon 2 Yummy monsters from the graveyard. They only summon Cupsy, because that's actually the only name in the grave, and then they'll link summon into Snatchy effect to set up the field spell. Minion, we draw into Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell is also good against the synchros when they try to reborn from grave. They'll use the field spell effect to summon back the Cupsy. And then they'll set the Imperm, set the Snatchy, and they'll pass for turn. We draw into Infinite Impermanence. So in the draw phase, because Snatchy only triggers during the main phase, I decide to Imperm the Snatchy. We enter the main phase. I activate Cyber Emergency. We're going to get Nashter to our hand. Then we normal summon the core effect gets negated, but that's perfectly fine. We already have Cyber Dark Realm. I use Cyber Dark effect to see my opponent would have an Ash Blossom and try bait out the negate, but it goes through, so we just add another realm to our hand. I activate Cyber Dark Realm, and here my opponent activates Yummy Surprise to bounce. My mistake is I should have just used core to send Snatchy to grave, and then whether they use Yummy Surprise to special summon, it's fine because we just didn't want him to bounce our Cyber Dark Realm to hand. So that was my mistake. 2 options. Contact Fuse. Either they'll use Lollipop to summon, or ideally we wanted them to use Yummy Surprise to just reborn the Snatchy from grave. Either way, we did have Ghost Bell in our hand and Bell Cooler as well. So that was very unfortunate on my end. Stupid mistake that I made. We use Nashter effect, discarding the Claw to special summon Nashter, and now here I contact Fuse. I should have done this earlier. We enter the battle phase. Our Mega Fleet is strong enough to destroy the Lollipop Yummy Way, and simply we pass for turn. Not the best, as you can see. This really isn't an ideal situation. But opponent draws into a Purge. They enter the main phase. They normal summon Cupsy effect. They'll add a second Yummy Surprise to the hand. Link summon into Snatchy. Then they'll synchro summon into Cupsy Yummy Way. This card gets to add 2 Yummy monsters from the deck to the hand, and then they have to discard a card. They'll add another Cupsy as well as a Lollipop. And then discard the Lollipop. Then they'll special summon Cupsy, special summon the Cookie from hand. They'll enter the battle phase, and in the battle phase, they'll use Yummy effect to special summon. They're going to special summon the Synchro Yummy Way. The reason why I don't chain Bell is because they already have this Synchro on the field, so there's no point wasting a Bell. They'll enter the battle phase, attack over our mega fleet. And thankfully for us, guys, I believe we still survive. Yes, we still do survive, guys, with only 200 life points left. Crazy, guys, 200 life points left. So, opponent in the main phase 2 is busy thinking what plays they can do, but they just set the purge and they proceed to end phase. So, we draw for turn. We draw Cyberdock Claw. This Claw is just sticking to our hand, guys. So, in the main phase, I was thinking, do I want to use Dark Ruler no more? And I decided, yes, I'm going to use Dark Ruler no more. I don't have to worry about Yummy Surprise because 2 are already engraved. Most Yummy players only play 2. So I was like, cool, let's not give my opponent access to Snatchy, to Synchro Summon. So activate Dark Ruler. We need to be careful of our life points. So the whole play here is break the board and get access to Clockwork Knight. So normal summon core effect, opponent will chain purge. Because my opponent does have a trap in the graveyard, which is the infinite impermanence, core will get destroyed. Then we activate Cyberdock Realm. Cyberdock Realm will search for our Cyberdock Worm. The reason why I don't search for Cyberdock Chimera, even though I still could have, just to have Power Bond in my hand, but we weren't going to use Power Bond because number one, we're under Dark Ruler, and I'm only at 200 life points. We're going to die by the effect of Power Bond. So instead, I searched Cyberdock Worm. Cyberdock Worm effect, send Hertz to grave. Recycle emergency, Hertz effect, get Nashta back to our hand. I use Realm effect just to normal summon the Claw to have an extra body because we can still go into SP. Worm will link summon into Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight effect, search for our continuous spell Clockwork Knight. Then we activate Cyber Emergency because we want to get Cyber Dragon to our hand because we need a Cyber Dragon on the field. Nashta effect, pitching Cyber Dragon, Nashta reborn Cyber Dragon. Here, we are locked into machines. Yeah, we are locked into machines. So we can't do the SP play. Hopefully, I didn't make that mistake in going to SP. I use Clockwork Knight effect to reborn the worm, tributing Claw because it is now a machine. Then I go into Cyber Dragon Nova effect. I reborn Hertz. Then I exceed summon into infinity. And then I now contact fuse, breaking my opponent's board, getting rid of all his monsters. And now I go Infinity to take the Clockwork Knight just to protect myself because we are at 200 life points. I don't want my opponent to attack into Clockwork Knight. And I did put Hertz in defense position. We pause for turn. Opponent draws into Imperm. In the main phase, they can activate Imperm to negate our Infinity. We let that go through because no point wasting a negate. They normal summon Lollipop. Lollipop effect. They're going to shuffle back our Cyber Dragon core into the deck. Opponent will then link summon into Anima. Anima effect to take our Chimera Fortress Dragon. So yes, guys, now we need to be worried about Anima when you go against Yummy. Anima is back. It's a link 1. So opponent will take Anima and they proceed to enter battle phase. I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine. They attack. And I tell my opponent, your monster's attack is actually at 0. But my opponent said it should be at 5,000 because Chimera Fortress Dragon gains. Its original attack is about the number of materials we used, but actually, guys, Anima gains attack according to what is printed on the card. And this became a whole debate, busy explaining to my opponents. I'll just fast forward this. We did have to call a judge because number 1, I did want to know. Number 2, maybe I was wrong. Who knows? Maybe I was wrong. But the judge came and he was letting us know that Anima will actually be at 0 attack because, as you can see here, Chimera Fortress Dragon, its printed attack is 0. So technically, on attack declaration, his Anima is going to get destroyed. So we weren't going to lose. We were going to survive. And because of that, my opponent was not happy with this, by the way, if you guys do read the comments. So he scoops. And yeah, Clockwork Knight did save us because we floodgates our opponent. And K9 Cyber Dragons takes the win, guys. There we go. Clockwork Knight is really good against Yummy. We do have a good way to counter Yummy. So we took the win, guys. This brings us to the end of the video. I will see you guys in the next video. Naughty Nev signing out. Peace.